Okay, hello there, boys and girls. Here's your Chapter 1 test. Follow along carefully. Hopefully you're listening. So the first three, we're to graph these on a number line and write them in order from least to greatest. So you have -4, 5, -2, 0, -5, and 6 in number 1. Number 2, you have radical 3, -2, 3, -3/2, and -1. Now, I want to caution you, you should remember that generally, when you have a radical, we want to make everything a decimal if we can. Okay, whoops, a mistake. Okay, so radical 3 is really 1.73. And -3/2 is really a -1.5. Okay, that'll help you with ordering them from least to greatest. Okay, but when you graph them on a number line, relabel it as radical 3 and -3/2 when you actually graph it on the number line. Okay, and I'm not going to do it for you on number 3, but just take the square root of 15 and make sure it's a negative whatever you get right there. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Four, 5, and 6, we are to identify the property. So I'm going to slide this over to the side just a little bit. You've got the identity property, or you could have the commutative property, or the associative. Sorry, that's terrible. Let me try to rewrite this. My pen's not doing so hot. Associative. So those are your three choices for 4, 5, and 6. Moving on to 7, 8, and 9. They just want you to solve these problems. Follow the order of operations. Please remember the rules of please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or as a lot of times it's called PEMDAS. Okay, where parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide whatever you see from left to right first. Add or subtract, again, from left to right, whoever comes first. Now, why that PEMDAS didn't want to move, I don't know, but we'll erase it. Just erase all this to get it out of our way here. Close enough. Okay. 10, 11, and 12, you're to simplify the expression. So you're combining like terms. Okay, you're not going to get a one-numbered answer, but please remember, a number outside of the parentheses like is you need to distribute this first, and that's like a -1. Multiply a -1 through. Whoops. Not that one. And then be careful, combine your like terms. On numbers 13 through 15, you are to solve the equation. Simply solve for the letter. On 16, 17, and 18, again, you're to solve for y. So rearrange the problem so that y is by itself. Then plug a -2 in for x and finish solving for y to get an actual number. Okay? So you solve for y. Then once y is by itself, then you plug in -2 for x. So if I was to get these started like this one, I would subtract 3x from both sides. Okay? Just to give you an idea. On 18, I'd multiply both sides by 5 and get rid of that fraction. Okay? On any of these, of course, if you need some help, just let me know. See, look at that. I don't understand why those stay put like that. That's crazy. So I guess I'll erase them if it'll let me. Yep, it does. It's stupid. I don't know why it's acting like that. 19 through 21, it's all about the word problem. Okay? So you're driving from Los Angeles to San Francisco, California. The total distance of the trip is about 340 miles. You drive at a steady rate of 60 miles per hour. Use the verbal model. So distance equals the rate, which is your speed, times your time. Assign labels to these parts. So what label, basically what letters could you use for these? And 20 says use these labels now to set up the equation. So basically now assign numbers to these values. And then lastly, solve. They want to know how long in hours it'll take. So you're solving for time. They haven't given us anything about time. They gave us a distance. They gave us a speed. You figure out how long it took. Very simple problem. 22 through 25, we're going to use this table of the ages of Super Bowl MVPs, the most valuable player, how old they were whenever they won the MVP in the Super Bowl. So here's all the averages, or the ages, I'm sorry, of the MVPs, and this is from 1984 to 2006. First, we're going to draw a box and whisker plot for this data. So remember, get it in order from least to greatest. I would do this on another sheet of paper, on the back, whatever. Get this all in order from least to greatest. And to make a box and whisker plot, remember, cut the information in half, and then you have two pieces, right? An upper and a lower. Then cut it in half, each of those. That will be your box, the box, and then everything else is the whisker off to the side. If you need help, let me know. 23, make a frequency distribution table using 4 different intervals starting at 20 to 24. So they would just want us to make a table, and you're going to start off with 20 to 24. Then how many guys were 20 to 24? You just tally, those marks there. And then you're going to go 25 to 29, 30 to 34, and so on, okay? And then draw a histogram in number 24. Now the histogram is you're actually graphing this data. So you're going to put the ages down here, and then the number of people of those ages. So your bar graph's going to look something like this. Okay? Oops, there we go. I don't know why that sticks like it. Then number 25 says, what is one conclusion that you can draw about the ages of the most valuable players in the Super Bowl based on your display? So based on these pieces of information, these tables, what's a conclusion that you can come up with about the age of Super Bowl MVPs? All right, that's the end of the test. All right, hopefully this helped you out. Have a great day. God bless.